Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. Let me know. I'm gonna be cutting some cake so I can bring it to Samira tomorrow. Let's see. This is a sneak peek of what is going into the next edited video that I'm shooting this week. I'm almost done shooting it, which means we'll need a couple of weeks to edit it, but hopefully by the end of March, I'll have it ready for you. The egg video is linked in the community page. If you have not checked it out, that is part of what I'm doing to earn some rent money these days. So feel free to check it out. It's a news video for More Perfect Union. And I don't know how many more of them I'll be doing, but gotta pay the bills. I love my new kitchen. Yes, I love my new kitchen. Let me pop out this chat so I can see y'all on my computer. 'Cause your girl's got internet. What? It's like she's a professional or something. Cool. The Thai jar meetup was fine. I don't think I'm gonna get a second date, but I didn't even end up bringing the jar. I did not even end up bringing the jar, guys. So we can't blame the jar for no second date. We can only blame me for no second date. As it goes. I'm just putting away some stuff that I baked today, but we're going to be making some youtiao dough for grandma because I'm out. It's nothing that you haven't seen before, but I need to do it because I need to make treats for grandma because that's apparently what I do with my life now. Maybe I'll even eat one of these babies soon. A farm school classmate sells weed. I actually don't recall what their Instagram handle is right now. Let me see if I can find it for you. Their handle on Instagram is just NYC Weed Market. NYC Weed Market. So DM. Her name is Emily. She's very lovely. I guess you can tell her that you watched June's live streams. But thank you guys for spelling it out, NYC Weed Market. The stuff is strong. It's very good. It's very fresh. I like it. Here are the cookies that you see in the thumbnail. They taste a little like fried chicken. It is vegetarian though. I'm a little freaked out at how they came out, but happy surprises, I guess. I would love to do a Get High with Me live stream. Honestly, we might get demonetized, but you know, at this point, who cares? One of my friends just Instagrammed a DM exchange that we had posted at the beginning of the pandemic where we were like, hey, maybe we should quarantine together. And my response to her was, no, we're gonna kill each other after a day. And we had no problem posting that story at, you know, in like March or April of 2020, but she reposted it again as a memory from 3 years ago, and it fucking got flagged and taken down. So social media, like, censorship state is on the rise. We can't say anything anymore. I just, whatever, man. Whatever. You can't win. You just can't win. I kind of don't want to wash this by hand. I think we're gonna have to put this in the dishwasher later, cause we have made me into a lazy bitch now with my dishwasher. Everybody's like, get a dishwasher. It'll change your life. Yeah, it will. It'll make me into a lazy son of a bitch. Also, I know everybody shits on nuts in baked goods, but look how beautiful chocolate cake with walnuts in it is. Okay? Chocolate cake with walnuts on top, beautiful. Can we just please rethink raisins and nuts in baked goods? I think they are marvelous. If you're off Instagram, who's gonna watch all my stories about all the Hinge profile fascinations I find? Sad. These are not brownies. This is chocolate cake. And now I've run out of containers to put my baked goods in. Shit. Does this mean I have to eat them all now? I don't know what happened. Are we back? The live kind of just shut off by itself. Are we back? Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Hi, Nauko. I'm so sorry to hear that you are undergoing more spine things. We will eat the scraps later with yogurt. For now, I need to clean. Ice cream, but I actually will just eat it with my yogurt. I'm finding a lot of joy eating dessert with yogurt. How's everyone's weeks? Tell me. Tell me. Congratulations on your promotion! Yay! Sorry your week sucks, bro. Yeah, you don't need to tell me about how gig work sucks. Wow, promising. So many promises of life. Congratulations on your day off. I'm so sorry about death in the family. Tiny coffin sounds really fucking depressing, honestly. I'm going to boil some beans. Why not? We're here. Let's do it. Audrey, that sounds fun. I can't wait to pay income tax, guys. I have a person. I'm not done yet. I wish I could be done with taxes. How do you cook chicken hearts and kidneys? How do you cook chicken anything? Treat it as a tough cut of meat. Either sear it in a lot of oil with garlic and onions and lots of spices, or braise it and let it go long and slow. If you choose to sear it, I recommend maybe cutting them in half. Bad breakup? Girl. Girl! I've never heard of Anti-Chef. They sound fun. Bye, Audrey. Hello, first live person. Yay, Jennifer. So I see we have some love for Anti-Chef and some not love for Anti-Chef. Interesting. Now I am fully intrigued. Why is he called the Anti-Chef? Should I be scared? Do I have a competitor? Hmm? Oh, you don't have to make me feel better. I'll find my enemies. JK. I don't have energy to deal with anyone anymore. Not even myself. Okay. I believe we are ready to make Grandma some stuffs. Mostly just dough. Okay. I'm gonna make dumpling dough for maybe assembling tomorrow, although I have farm school like a whole chunk of the afternoon into evening is farm school tomorrow, and it's going to be in person, so I don't know if I'm going to go live. Probably not. But I will still make the dumpling dough. I'm gonna boil some water too, so I can make some maybe not caffeinated tea. Okay. I wouldn't say I know more about cooking. I would just say I do really stupid shit with food. I don't know as much as I just play, if that makes sense. You should really go to bed, yes. All right, dumpling dough, 224 grams, all purpose. Plus cornstarch, 27 grams. I have to undersell myself. Do you understand? I have to lower expectations in order so that you feel like I've exceeded your expectations, which keeps you coming back thinking that I'm more masterful than I am. Do you see the mind games that I play? Lower your expectations to increase your gratification. That's my business strategy. It's also probably why I don't make a lot of money in this business. But yes, I do hate compliments. It does not come naturally. Accepting compliments is like a very not Chinese thing to do. As Chinese people, you are taught to always be shrugging aside compliments in order to display your humility. So it's like really fucking with my brain every time somebody compliments me. Yeah. So now we will eat my scraps with some yogurt. Good stuff. MMA, mixed martial arts, combative sport. That's cool. That's very cool, actually. I hope you enjoy it. I don't think I'm like hardcore enough to do MMA, but I would like to do more hit stuff, like hitting stuff, not high intensive interval training. I would like to hit some stuff. And I did used to like boxing, but I don't think I like it anymore, unfortunately. I think with Mom dying, a lot of my, like, angst disappeared. So it doesn't even feel satisfying to hit things anymore. It's just like almost muscle memory telling me I might enjoy it if I could hit shit. By the way, I'm taking a snack break because I'm waiting for the water to come up to a boil for the dumpling dough. But I like snack breaks because now I get to eat. This is just cake crumbs and raisins and walnuts and sweetened coconut shreds mixed in with Greek yogurt. It is one of my greatest joys in life is to mix random shit into yogurt. Bonus points of the random shit is already sweetened. I mean, I've always had depression, but for sure the angst really just took a back seat when Mom died. I was just like, I think a part of me got wiped out emotionally, honestly. I just can't feel certain things the way I used to feel them anymore, for better and for worse. I think for more better than worse, I think I used to be a lot more emotionally reactive. Not to say I'm not now, but I used to be a lot more so. The yogurt is thick because it's whole fat Greek. So. I'm looking for something. This is a little bit of mesquite powder. This comes from Argentina. It tastes a little bit like cocoa to me, just lightly nuanced cocoa. You don't like mesquite powder? You don't have to add it. You can add cinnamon or pumpkin pie spice. You can add more raisins. You can add whatever you want, man. You do you. On the jar it says fruit pulp powder. That's all I know. Sometimes in the Southwest they use it as a flour. It reminds me of cocoa. Cocoa powder, not coconut. They ripped you off a $200 shipment? What does that mean? They're pretty good with customer service. If you just reach out, they should be able to fix any hiccups. This is a spoon. I also have an affiliate link for Burlap and Barrel. I don't think you get a discount, but I do get a kickback if you use it. Maybe the next time I'll link it in my description box. But it was delivered to a wrong address. Interesting. And you entered it correctly. Customer service should be really helpful. I'm sorry that wasn't the case, but I'm not involved in that department. It's a pretty small department. It's like 2.5 people. $200 though. Sounds like you ordered a lot. Okay, I think I'm ready for some water here. We will need 1/3 of a cup, which is 80 grams, which actually isn't that many, or rather, I should say not that much. What do you mean you have no life? Whose life are you comparing yours to say you have no life? Whose life do you want to live? You want to be out in a nightclub getting high on cocaine in the bathroom? So fun to be named after a doctor in the hospital where you were born. That's fascinating. I can't imagine being a parent that would just name their kid after a random doctor. Was it a random doctor? Or was it a doctor that they knew personally? This is the beginning of dumpling dough, so it is going to be a very stiff dough. How come you don't like iPhones but have a Mac? This Mac is actually a Aaron hand-me-down. I would not have spent money on a Mac. The last time I spent money on an Apple product was right before I went into college. I begged my dad to get me a MacBook, and I got one of those black matte MacBooks, and I loved it. And it actually lasted me quite a while, maybe almost 7 years. And it only broke because I decided to crack open the computer to clean it out of dust, and I did something wrong in assembling it back, and something didn't connect, and it just refused to power on. And I was forever sad. And that was when I knew I should not ever open a computer ever again. dumpling dough, I usually make the day before I want to use it because the gluten does much better if you let it rest. It rolls out way easier. You obviously don't have to wait for a whole day. You can just let it rest for 2 hours. But I don't really want to talk about my dad. Not because of any like extremely traumatic stuff, but just because I want to respect his privacy. So I'll leave it at that. I mean, I like Apple in terms of its aesthetics, but I hate how the company operates. I hate how fad driven they are. I hate the clientele that they tried to build. I hate that they cater to wealthy people, which is every company, but especially Apple, I think goes for a whole cultish persona of like, oh, you don't have an iPhone? We're gonna make you a green bubble on text app so that your friends who do have iPhones know that you don't have an iPhone. And they're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? Why does this person not have a blue bubble? I hate the fact that they don't, you know, make it easy for you to be a Android user with iPhone user friends. I just don't understand why they have to be so mean girl about it. That's my main qualm with iPhones. As far as Apple as a company, I mean, I doubt they're much worse than Google. Google is probably the worst. Google owns everything. So am I doing a morally righteous thing by owning an Android over an iPhone? No. No, I'm not. Which Google Pixel do you have? Because I really don't like the 6A. We're gonna put the dumpling dough in this pint container. We're gonna let it rest, and at the end of the live, I'll knead it again. Right now, it's a little too hard for me to knead all the way through. So. I was thinking if I could get a way to return the 6A, I might have to go buy the 7. It seems like everybody likes the 7. You want to do something stupid tonight? There's so many options. What will you choose? You can have very unsafe sex with a stranger, or you can do heroin, or you can just watch a really dumbass movie. You can probably eat like 3 bags of family-sized chips. You can give American women your credit card number. Yep. Life, it's for the taking. You can give the chat your credit card number. Someone will definitely use it. I haven't tasted any new instant coffees, but Mount Hagen is really good. some youtiao dough for Graham. Basically the same shit that you've seen me do so many times. Maybe it's time for me to put these pears in the fridge. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pears in the fridge. I got 2 bags of these pears that have like about 8 small pears each in them for $2 each. I thought that was a pretty good deal. I also finally bought a new carton of eggs. This is my first carton of eggs I've bought since Thanksgiving. This was only $2.99. Can you believe it? And I found it at H Mart where I went on a first date, and my date offered to buy it for me. So I got free eggs from my date today. All right, on to youtiao dough. 2.5 cups of flour, so that's 260 grams plus, oh, 2.25, my bad, 2.25, 260 plus 30 grams, so 290. I did buy sugar. I bought sugar a long time ago. Wow, what was that word? I bought sugar like a month ago. I decided to not buy white granulated sugar again. So I bought like turbinado, I think. Next, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then we got some baking powder, baking soda. I'm making youtiao dough. This is the Chinese donut dough that I make for Grandma. She hasn't eaten this in almost a month, I think, so I think we can safely start introducing some back. I stopped for a while because I think she wasn't really enjoying them that much anymore, and she was having some nosebleeds, so I wanted to give her some foods that were more calming. And we're gonna give Grandma some of her own stolen milk for this. You can Google delish, youtiao, and congee recipe, and you should be able to find this recipe. I've made it many a time before. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna add a little bit of yeast to this, which is not in my original recipe, but I like it, so I'm gonna do it. Guys, should we take some CBD just for fun? This is for pain and inflammation. I do believe Grandma's nosebleed is mostly related to her oxygen tubes. They've switched her to a mask. I think they've gotten a little bit better, but she's always, you know, paranoid and hypochondriac and all of that. So I try to switch up her food a little bit just so that she can get some of that placebo effect going in her brain about, you know, now she's eating slightly less inflammatory food and it's gonna help her not have nosebleeds anymore. You know how those brains work at 95. More or less water, but you want a nice moist dough that holds its own shape for the most part and doesn't really stick to your hand. I've made it to varying degrees of moistness. I do think there is a sweet spot that is like not too moist, but I've not really ever measured it. Doughs are kind of weird. They don't really stay for you. It really depends on humidity and the type of flour that you're using and temperature of water and all this random shit that I can't really keep consistent. So we have 296 people. 289. We just lost some. I jinxed it. Cool. Is there anything you want me to rant about, or are you just here to watch me play with dough and eat random shit from my fridge? Just fine. I welcome both. But if you do want me to rant about stuff, we can. Good luck for your interview. Mention it, the youtiao dough is surprisingly similar to pizza dough in texture. They're both kind of droopy and moist, but they don't really feel too sloppy. Very fascinating. I will not be playing video games. I'm so not talented with video games, unfortunately. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I am also going to let this dough rest as well. Doughs love to rest, just like us all. And in the meantime, put some water in the teapot. Freddie took so well to Aaron's new place. He apparently does not meow at all, did not need the anti-anxiety drops. He apparently follows Aaron everywhere from room to room like he's a like a freaking video game familiar. I'm both happy for them both and it's like just exhilaratingly happy for Freddie that he's not terrified, but also very heartbroken that he does not love me that way. But it's okay. I get it. I get it and I don't, but I accept it. It's fine. I accept it. Maybe Freddie is gay. But whatever he is, I'm happy that he's happy. I can't have a cat. Freddie was pre-approved. I agree. Freddie adopted super well as a stray cat. I've been thinking about adopting cats or fostering, but I'm still at the thinking stage. I want to get more settled into my life before I'm ready. Girl. I went to eat at a restaurant in Astoria yesterday, and these are my leftovers. There's lamb and a jalapeno and an onion. I think I'm gonna dump out the water from the beans and drop the jalapeno and the onion in here. This place was introduced to me by one of my Hinge matches back in October. It was amazing. I love it. The atmosphere is nice. The people are nice. The food is good. I wasn't expecting leftovers, so I didn't have a glass jar. I'm sorry. I'm not always on top of my shit sometimes, you know? I'm also just a human being. Just another human being. Duzan has really good shawarma, but I think Zira, I don't know how to pronounce it, has like proper seating indoors, and it's nice if you want to just like chill for an hour. I know you guys want me to save all the cats, but I'm just trying to stay sane myself, you know? I gotta make sure I'm sane before I take cats. Also, I'm just gonna say that the next hot dating trend is to grocery shop together. And I'm saying that because I'm making it reality right now by saying it. Because I'm learning as I age that you just make true what you claim is true. So, grocery shopping for your next date. Guess what? You get to spend money, show off your personality, or you can curate it and lie however you want. You don't have to spend more money than you want to. And you can show off generosity by buying eggs for your date. You don't have to sit in a stuffy atmosphere that you might hate. You have the ability to move around, check out new stuff, talk about different things, not make eye contact, gain some physical distance. It's great, okay? It's so great. Bye, Brett. Let's pick a spice that we haven't used before. Okay, this sounds really good. I haven't tried it yet, but this is a new line of spices collab with John Kung. You might have seen some of his videos. He's famous on TikTok, and now he's on YouTube, and he's on Instagram. This is Smoldering Embers, and it has coriander, urfa chili, cumin, smoked star anise, black cardamom, bay leaf, and garlic. An earthy and grounded blend well suited for seasoning all kinds of meats, including stronger flavored meats such as lamb, beef, duck, squab, and goat. This blend can also be used on mushrooms and tempeh, and it pairs amazingly well with tomatoes. So, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I think. Ooh, very star anise heavy on the nose. A little bit cumin-y, but also smells a little bit like smoked paprika, but there is no paprika in here, so I guess that's the smoked star anise with the urfa chili combining together. Fascinating. Ooh, very star anise heavy. I'm gonna need a little bit of, I can see why he said it pairs well with tomatoes, because I'm gonna need a little bit of acidity to go with that. So, I shredded some carrots today, because, spoiler alert, I make a carrot cake in the new video. And I'm gonna pickle some of them in our pickling liquid, but I'm also gonna use some of our pickling liquid right now. Smoldering, yes, smoldering. And I might put some carrots in here, actually. That sounds like a great idea. Some veggies, yeah. Let's do it. Yes, I did get T-Mobile internet. We're gonna need a little bit of salt, but I think I want some fish sauce in here, so let's go for that. Everybody who thinks that we were gonna go away forever because of the Goodbye Woodside live stream, I'm not trying to condemn you, but it's gonna sound like a condemnation because it low-key is, but this is the mindset that contemporary internet culture has made people adapt and adopt to, which is you see one thing and you take it decontextualized of everything else and you jump straight to conclusions. I think if you've watched my live streams consistently, you would probably know that I've moved out of Woodside for a very long time, since last November. So saying goodbye to Woodside should not mean goodbye forever, because I've been out of Woodside for a long time. And yeah, it's Aaron, spelled Aaron. He gets his name spelled wrong so many times in so many different ways. I thought it was an easy name. But apparently not. Apparently it's a hard name. I'm also going to add a little bit of turmeric in here, just for color. Fred is the cat. Correct. My goodness. Some of you really need to get sent back to Livestream 101, huh? Let's go in with a little bit of fennel seeds. I think my FAQ is still being updated, but I'm not sure. It's not really that viewer's job to update it, you know, and it's also not my responsibility to keep everyone updated of every single aspect of my life. In fact, I don't really want to update every single aspect of my life to people who don't watch the live streams, because why, you know? It's kind of like, if you come to the live streams, you're spending this amount of time with me the same way that you would spend an amount of time with someone that you care about, are invested in, someone, say a friend, parasocial relationships, hello. Why would I want to give that same information to other people who aren't investing that time in me? That's the way I'm thinking about it, you know? So, ain't my responsibility if they're out of the loop. That's it. And at the end of the day, y'all ain't my friends, for the most part. Some of my friends watch this. And this is the way we need to operate in life to keep ourselves sane. We don't owe shit to people, okay? Like, we don't owe shit to people. Least of all people, you have no clue who they are. But internet culture, celebrity culture, the way we have hustle culture dominating our lives, in which we have to create these relationships so that they provide opportunities for us, so that in case one bridge burns down for income, we have another bridge for income, and every single relationship turns into a networking opportunity of some sort. Like, fuck that. Honestly. It'll be too hard to attract new viewers if that's what you're aiming for. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm not relying on YouTube for my income to pay my bills. Obviously, if I were, I would be performing a very different side of myself, but I want to keep my channel for as long as is financially possible to just be a place where I organically attract people who agree with me and want to witness this shit show. That's it. I don't want to have like a created agenda, because that's stress. That turns this thing into another form of job. And even when I'm not using this channel as a main source of income, my brain is already starting to shift it into, how can you monetize this better? And I'm really trying to like hone my brain back and shepherd it and herd it back and be like, yo, you do not have to go live every day. You do not have to feel guilty if you don't put out a video every week, every 2 weeks, even a month. Like, you don't have to do anything. Get used to not doing everything. Get used to not doing anything. Get used to not being a regular producer of content. Just get used to not producing all the fucking time. Because I think our world really encourages us to constantly be producing, and for what? So many of us are breaking. We don't even have universal health care in this country. So for what? And I'm not trying to shit on new people. I'm not trying to say they mean harm. I'm just trying to make myself feel less guilty of not always being here to repeat answers about updates on my life. Because every time somebody asks me for something and I deny them, it automatically triggers a guilt complex. And that triggers a shame complex. And that triggers my anxiety, which also contributes to my depression, which adds to my overall life stress. So, are you responsible for mitigating all of the harms that I continuously, automatically, involuntarily do to myself? No, not at all. But I'm just trying to explain why I react the way that I react so you understand where I'm coming from. You don't have to understand where I'm coming from, but I'm just ranting about it so that you might know now if you wanted to know. And if you didn't want to know, then you probably hopped off the live already. Goodbye. Beans are okay. They're not burning. Thank you, though. I understand. I understand that new people come, but they seem to be not like new. They seem to have preconceived notions of who I am already from potentially my delish videos, and they've not seen me for months, and they're like, whoa, what's happening? But I haven't made it my job yet to keep them updated. Maybe one day it will be my job to keep them updated, because maybe one day this will be my income, my only income, my main income, the focus of my professional life. Maybe. I don't know how I feel about that, though. I don't want to just be like a content creator. I want a content creation part of my life to be a part of my life. I don't want it to be all of my life, because even when it's not all of my life, I can already start to see the ways in which it's affecting how I perform my personhood. And I just want to strike a balance. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it might turn into a bad thing if it's the only part of my identity that people know. So at every stage of the process, even through these lives, I'm trying to push back at preconceived notions of who I am, just so that we don't deceive anyone or mislead anyone of who I am, because even I don't see 100% of who I am all the time, and I don't want there to be any closures of letting all of me live out this life. Am I getting too high? I haven't smoked yet, but I feel like I'm getting into my high brain. But can mods pin an update comment? They can, but it's not their job, and ain't nobody getting paid for this shit. Ram, it's not your job. Step away from the keyboard. There are some people on this earth who take it upon themselves to do literally everything for everyone because they feel like it will make them either a better person, it will prove how worthy they are of being loved, or they simply lacked it in terms of receiving that kind of attention, care, and favors. And I want all of you to just take a step back and just not do shit. Not do shit. Don't do shit. Just do shit. I too am a people pleaser, and I'm trying to train myself to not be. And I'm also trying to train myself to what extent I can please myself, and also when I need to cut off trying to please myself. There is no end to this. You will always not be doing enough. You will always be insufficient in some way. This is the way the world has trained us to be, to always feel insufficient so that we are always trying to do more. And we if we want to sustain ourselves and kind of level out our stress levels, you have to disengage sometimes, just to give yourself a change of mental scenery. The beans are great. How did I get it even? Is it even? Is it? I can't see, so I don't know. It took several days of being like, oh, I'm washing my hair and it looks like this tuft needs to go. And then I would trim that tuft. It's not all in one go. I'll notice it after washing it. I'll notice it in the morning. I'll notice it when I shift my ponytail around. There is a reason why I always have a part of my hair up, because there's no evenness that I can achieve fully. But if I put half of it up, I can try to make, see, there's still a bit that's like not even, but it's whatever. We're not striving for perfection. In fact, if you perform imperfection consistently, people will get used to it because we are adaptable creatures. Can you get yourself used to imperfection is the key question. Because once again, only you have to live with you for your entire life, every single moment of your life. This is why when I have moments of depersonalization and derealization, those moments can really scare the crap out of some people, but I actually really love those moments because it's like a vacation from myself. I think we chopped these scallions the last time on a live. I'm gonna dump it in here. Ta-da! Cool. Now, see what everybody's saying. Bye, Yuka. I don't think cold brew will really hurt you. I just ate 3.5-month-old eggs though, so you and I are clearly not the same creature. You do whatever is comfortable for you. Oy vey. Oy vey. I don't feel good about that cutting board being there, but ooh, I got a text. How soon do you tell someone? How soon do you know? How many dates in do you know whether or not you have romantic interest in the person? Chime in. You need 3 dates to know if you're romantically interested in someone? Fascinating. It's not straight off the bat? Ooh, Jessica, if you're willing to share, I would love to know what you mean by that. I mean, only if you want to share. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I'm fascinated to know your experience with BPD. What's this dumb heart thing that's floating on the screen? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the floating heart thing. But this range is fascinating. I think I know after one date if I even have a chance of being romantically interested in them. Maybe I need 3 to 4 to like confirm, but I can usually have like a fraction or a percentage in mind of romantic interest within just the first hour of the first date. You get super emotionally invested in people, especially if they're smart and funny and passionate. I mean, same, but does that mean I have BPD? Jesus, I identify with that. I have become I wouldn't say extremely, I have become very interested in personality disorders as of late. Especially after watching almost 2 months of videos on narcissistic personality disorder. It's fascinating. There are so many different angles of understanding these personality disorders. Some of them are way more mainstream and antagonistic, and some of them can be very compassionate and just less binary and polarized takes on what it means to have a personality disorder, to function with a personality disorder, in terms of explaining behaviors of someone who might have a personality disorder. It's all very fascinating to me. You hurt harder than anyone you know. I wonder what that means. Ram is smart and funny and passionate. Yes, if anyone is looking, Ram is available. How do you explain people who are friends for years before they become a couple? I think relationships do morph over time. I also think there are some chances that people aren't upfront with each other about their romantic attraction with each other in the beginning, and they just keep waiting, and then eventually the ice breaks and they're like, oh, it's mutual, cool, let's go out. But also, when I first met Aaron, I couldn't stand him for like 6 weeks. So then we spent the next 10 years together, you know? You feel a level of hurt and grief where most people would just be a little upset. Interesting. Well, now you got me wondering about BPD for myself. I'm not going to diagnose myself with anything, guys, but it's fascinating. It is fascinating. I also do think that it's one thing to be diagnosed with a PD, but also I think everything does exist on a spectrum. So, you know. Yeah, Sandy, exactly. We would all be committed. Thanks, Jessica. I really appreciate it. I mean, 2 decades of therapy, like, come fucking congratulations for sticking it out that long and being committed to learning about what your disorder might mean for your life. I think it's really hard for a lot of people to be confronted with the fact that they might have a disorder and that they have to work through it, and that there is no end in sight sometimes because it's just something that you have to live with. It's basically like an autoimmune disease. Like, I have several autoimmune diseases. You don't have cures for them. You kind of just have to manage them as a lifelong thing. And from an undiagnosed person that may or may not have a PD, I just feel like personality disorders are kind of like autoimmune diseases. And it's just kind of luck of the draw. And different people have different ways of treating them. But thank you so much for sharing. We really appreciate the inside look into these very misunderstood or just ununderstood conditions. I've been watching a lot of the Nameless Narcissists videos. He has a channel that has maybe like 12,000 followers now, and he's diagnosed with NPD. And in one video, he said we call things disorders because we don't know how to solve them. We just don't have solutions for them, and that's why we term them disorders. And I'll go into this in the asexuality video that I'm filming, but it's just been very fascinating for me to learn about these different things. And yes, the DSM is so culturally restricted and coded and biased. It always deserves a second perspective. Yeah. There is no cure for personality disorders, but there is treatment. Some people do find that therapy works for them. Obviously, I don't have a diagnosed PD, but from what I've heard, people learn to live with it to varying degrees. Some people never fully recognize what they're living with, and for better or for worse, it both hurts them and other people around them. So, But even for those of us who are not diagnosed with PDs, we still manage to hurt ourselves and the people around us. So, one thing that I've realized for myself in filming this asexuality video is that, like, we might have different issues, we might have different orientations, we might have different identities, but we all go through very similar modes of existing and emotion. Yes, there are sociopaths and psychopaths who don't feel empathy the way that we do. Sure, there are exceptions. To some degrees, there are always limits to these metaphors and comparisons, but whether or not you are asexual, some people ask me in the community tab, like, does it feel lonely? And I'm like, do you feel like, a part of me was like, bitch, do you feel lonely? We all feel lonely. It doesn't matter if you're asexual or not. We all feel lonely. So it's just like, just because you have a diagnosis of something, just because you identify with a lesser known identity, it doesn't mean that we don't feel the same things that you feel. We probably go through very similar things. And that's both comforting and saddening to think about. So, please don't curse. I'm sorry, Tara, but I will curse because it's a part of language. Um, it, I think we need to untaboo curse words sooner in life. I lived a lot of my life with conservative Chinese immigrant parents with Christian values. Mom really didn't like it when I cursed. And for a large part of my life, through high school and into college, I thought people who curse were degenerates. And girl, there are far worse things you can do in life besides curse. And not all of them are visible and audible. And they can be the worst, most insidious, most dangerous traits to live around. So I actually really like it when people curse because it shows me that they're hiding less. Language is a mode of expression. Curse words express something. They express things differently to different people from different people, just like any other words. So I would like to ask why we have tabooed curse words as bad, and why we have tabooed curse words as curse words, and why we don't allow people to speak using these words. What's wrong with the words? What are we actually trying to closet? Are we actually just trying to dampen our way of expressing through these forbidden words our extreme angst, anger, sadness, disappointment, frustration at the world? Is it actually society's attempt to let us be, like, dulled to apply an anesthetic of sorts by labeling these words as immoral? And what other modes of acceptable behavior are we allowed to express our discontent through? And are they effective? And is it actually because we are afraid of how effective curse words are at directly communicating our discontent that we have made them socially unacceptable? The same way that we have made certain drugs illegal while legalizing other drugs that are far worse for our bodies and minds. So what are the interests and motivations behind making things taboo and not making other things taboo? All in the back of my head. I mean, we welcome all people, right? Like, I welcome kids, but also I want to let the kids know that curse words are a part of life. I wish taboo subjects like cursing and drugs and sex weren't so taboo so that I didn't have to feel so scared of them for so much of my life. a lot of what I've come to realize making this asexuality video is like, to what extent did my upbringing have a hand in my sexual orientation and how I identify? To what extent did the conservative values that my parents upheld and lived by, did that affect how I operated as a person in my very formative years? How would we function as a society if we let kids know what sex is from the moment they could understand words and concepts? And why are we so afraid of talking about these things? And how do we come to segregate this one big connected thing into so many little pieces and then attaching different values to them instead of treating them as simply components of a spectrum? We have like shattered our world and splintered them into disconnected things so that they can be decontextualized, so that we can uphold certain things while trashing other things. We have created good and bad. We have created morality, and now I don't know why. I don't know what the purpose is. And not knowing what the purpose of creating more morality is kind of terrifying to think about. Because I had no hand. I had no hand in deciding what's good and what's bad. And yeah, different cultures use different curse words very differently, you know? So it's just something to think about. I'm not trying to like limit your ability to parent, but I'm also just saying I'm not willing to censor myself for anyone, I guess. Unless they put me in jail, which we might be getting closer and closer to the way that social media is being censored right now. Next day you'll see me getting like shadow banned, and then the week after I'll be fucking fined, and then the week after I'll be arrested. Who knows, right? The slide into dictatorship and autocracy is imperceptible until you're deep in it. I'm also not trying to attribute values to people's asks. I try not to shame people asking for things. I try to explain where I'm coming from, and I try to hold space for different opinions, but at some point I have to draw a boundary. I want to keep things open and be accepting of people's asks, as long as they're not asking about why Aaron and I are not together and why I'm in a different kitchen and what's going on in my life. As long as, you know, but because I want to encourage us asking for the things that we want to see, right? That is a hard practiced skill because we've been so discouraged from asking for what we want. So I want to encourage that, and I don't mean to criticize anybody asking for me to do certain things, but I also need to make it a practice for myself to respond in kind and say, hey, I hear where you're coming from. I don't agree. I can't comply. Here's why. And if you don't care for the explanation, I understand. But now we eat beans. Guys, beans. Delicious beans. Marvelous beans. I'm gonna crack some black pepper. I'm gonna add a little extra white pepper. This is Mom's white pepper. And I'm gonna go in with a little more salt. From Chile, that my friend Charlie brought back from like a year or two ago. Mustard pickles? What's mustard pickles? Thank you, Tara. I appreciate you for being here. Whoops. The beans, they be running. They know if they stay, they're just gonna turn into farts. One day we will all turn into farts. Great. Okay. Time to fold our youtiao dough. Ooh, happy Saturday. Look at that time thing doing its thing. Look at our human constructs making absolutely no sense. I often wonder if I was born on a certain day in China at a certain time, do I actually have a different birthday in America? Because the time difference is like 12 hours, you know? So I think about these things sometimes. They really don't make sense, do they? Do I believe in horoscopes? Sometimes. Depends on the day and how weak I am. JK. I said JK, Nicholas. Here's the dumpling dough. Aw, Nick, that first look is for free. Next time you're gonna have to Venmo me. Bye, Godzilla Pie. I'm probably gonna sign off soon too. Thank you for joining. Happy Friday. Happy weekend ahead. Thanks, Jessica. I hope everyone has a good weekend ahead. Thank you so much for the well wishes. fascinating though. Like my week of eating when depressed is like doing so much worse than the H Mart video. So it's given me a very good look into what it would take for me to be successful, using all the scare quotes, on YouTube. And I'm just like not optimistic about it, you know? So I'm not even gonna pursue that as a full-time job at this point. It's become very clear to me that in order to get consistently high views, you have to lock yourself into a certain type of content. And I think over time, even within the span of a year, that will burn me out and make me very unhappy. And that's just not what my goal is. We all make choices. We all make choices. Some people might think it's very stupid of me to not be successful on YouTube because it seems like an easy thing to do, but I think I know me more than you know me. For the people who say, do a Patreon, have you done a Patreon yourself? Like, have you set up a Patreon? Have you gotten income from Patreon? Have you filed taxes for Patreon income? Because somebody commented on my Instagram post where somebody was like, please set up a Patreon. And they were like, it's really not as easy as you think it is. And listen, just because the depression video didn't get like nearly as many views as the H Mart video did, I will still be making stuff like that because it's relevant to me. And I feel like that's the type of thing that comes organically to me, and it's about time that I let myself live organically as much as possible. Obviously, it can't be 100% of the time because we still live in a hashtag society that doesn't allow you to be as organic as possible because that's just simply not capitalistic. But, Substack is fun if you have stuff to write. I had fun making the H Mart video too, you know? But I just don't want to do that all the time. I need breaks. I don't want that to become like my MO in order to make this channel successful. In a way, this channel is already successful because it's a place where I can do what I want to do. In that sense, I am very successful. Substack for videos, really? That's fascinating. I also love it when, I don't even know if Ram is serious right now or he's just being cheeky, but I always love it when viewers are telling other viewers to like and subscribe because I love it when people unfollow me on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I did something that made people angry and not like me. Good. Let's continue, shall we? Don't let the masses dictate who you are because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I want to see who you are. I want you to do what you do, not because of how other people will react, but because it makes you feel a little bit braver in a world that seeks to make you a controllable coward. Is it suicidal in a lot of senses to be stupidly brave? Yes. But maybe gauge how you can be brave in a not 100% stupid way, in just like a 19 to 23% stupid way. You know? I have gone off the deep end because a lot of shit has changed in my life. And I'm embracing the dive into chaos. But maybe not forever. Maybe this too will come to pass. So I'm just gonna try to enjoy it for as long as I can. Like talking into a phone camera for 2 hours. Possibly imagining all of the voices typing messages on my screen. What even is reality? And yes, one of these lives, we're gonna have to clean this jar of the residue because it is not giving me a clean peel and it's making me very upset. Very upset, but here's a look at the slices of carrot cake that I will bring to Samira tomorrow. It's got, well, I can't tell you exactly what it's got because it's gonna be in the next video, but it's got marshmallows inside and out. Cool. I'm just gonna eat my beans, and I'll bid you goodbye as soon as I finish them and wash my pot. I don't know if you can make a room a greenhouse in a New York City apartment, but I'm gonna try to plant some things. I refuse to buy Goo Gone. I just feel like I have other methods of getting the residue off that I don't need to buy a specific product. Would it make my life easier to get Goo Gone? Probably, yes. But am I stubborn enough to not make my life easier when I can? I have a Twitch account, but I don't stream. I think my audience is fully on YouTube, so there's no point in starting on Twitch. I use cooking oil to remove adhesive, but I use it in combination with baking soda. Cooking with beef for the first time. It is gamey. Use onions, garlic, scallions, ginger, anything, so that it doesn't taste so gamey. Use plenty of salt. Maybe pair it with something spicy. Ram does need to make another live appearance. Ram, I have internet now. When are we building those bookshelves and eating popcorn? He said he's going to bring me vegetables too. on my last carrot. I could use some vegetables. Okay. Let's see, what else can I stick down my gullet? I did promise you cheese, didn't I? Let's try this. Trader Joe's New Zealand organic cheddar cheese at $8.99 a pound. I got 0.4 pounds for $4.14. It's been a while since I've had cheddar cheese. I'm just gonna break it because I ain't got no time to wash another knife. Smells milky and plain. Smells fresh. And slightly like 20% Baby Bell and 20% Swiss and 10% heavy cream. A little bit like 30% butter, actually. I'm just smelling straight butteriness. Like 5% rubber. And 15% I'm gonna have to taste it. It tastes a little bit like Swiss too. Like nutty. Trader Joe's has Wisconsin cheese. It is the cheapest cheddar by unit price there. I just wanted to treat myself to something that was like a little bit mid-price range for Trader Joe's, you know? I'll go back to the cheap stuff. Yeah. It's like cheddar with a little bit of Swiss and a lot of butter notes. I love Tillamook. Yes. It is available at Trader Joe's right now on the East Coast. But you know what else I got for my fancy self? I didn't know Trader Joe's carries this, but they have Beecher's flagship cheese now. This was $12.99 a pound, pretty expensive for Trader Joe's. So this small block was $5, but let's try it. A cross between cheddar and Gruyere, flagship's flavor is sharp and nutty with hints of caramel and brown butter, pairs well with wines, foods, meltability. Nice peel sticker. Why can't we have this kind of action on all jars? Why? Probably just cut myself like $1's worth. Great. YOLO. Way more crumbly, way more salty. It has the taste of sunflower seeds. It's nutty the way sunflower seeds are. Undeniably sunflower seed right off the bat. Crossed with that aroma from pumpkin seeds, especially the ones with their shells still attached. You know that flavor? A little bit young and woodsy, stemmy. I like it. Not a bad buy. You can definitely tell it has slightly higher quality than the New Zealand one because it cracks a little bit more upon the bite, but it turns way creamier once you chew it. So the cheese is a little bit more aged, but I think the dairy might be higher quality. Definitely has more nuance of flavor, which makes sense. It's like 50% more expensive than the other one. Cool. Bye. Have a good weekend.